at least in college, you have this subtle introduction to the grind with homework and papers and having to juggle your free time and how much time can I party before I have to actually buckle down. Like, they didn't do that. So they've got get up and go to work.
Right.
9 to 5 every day. And you can tell, I think, at least for our Amira, in the beginning, that's not easy.
I was talking with my great friend Ali the other day. And so Ali, as you know, people don't know, but Ali and I have been working together for, over a decade on all types of media projects. And in that time, we've had a great personal relationship, and our families kind of mirror each other.
Yeah.
They have kids they have 2 boys that are kind of the same age as our boys.
They have 2 boys and a girl. We have 2 boys and a girl. Yeah.
Right. It's just opposite ends.
Right.
Like our daughter's first and their daughter's last. So there's a lot of conversation that happens in those moments. And Ali recently asked me a question about when I got to college, how did I find my place in all that? With all that brand newness and all those new people. And my answer was, it was so big and so overwhelming. I'd never thought about finding my place in the whole university. I only focused on finding my place in my dorm, in my circle of friends there in Drew Hall at Howard University. Like, that all-male dorm wasn't a microcosm of the university because it's all male, and all those guys were brand new. So more importantly for me, it was finding my way amongst my peers, and then we all elevated and became, matriculated together.
Yeah.
And that mattered. And to me, that's an allegory also for kind of what both of our sons, Ali's son and our oldest son, Amir, both happen to be Amir, are going through right now. They want these great careers. And they want to do things that are, quote unquote, in their lane.
Lined up with their passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that it's an important allegory there for like what you're supposed to be doing at this so early phase of your career, where most people, if they chose to, they're in college or they're in the military or trade school or something. And you guys are out here like trying to do it now. Yeah.
I feel like it's, they chose to forgo the training wheels. I feel like with college, you've got these training wheels. You've got these 4 years before you have to start adulting, right? But they chose to, hey, let's skip the training wheels and let's just start adulting at 19. And there are no bumpers there at all.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a rough ride. At least in college, you have this subtle introduction to the grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, with homework and papers and having to juggle your free time and how much time can I party before I have to actually buckle down. Like, they didn't do that. So they've got get up and go to work.
Right.
9 to 5 every day. And you can tell, I think, at least for our Amira, in the beginning, that's not easy. You have to be present. In high school, in their senior year, they weren't mentally present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of their senior year. But like at work, you have to be present and accountable for the things that you're doing. So yeah, it's very different. They dove in the deep end quick.
Yeah, which is fine. As long as
you're ready for it.
As long as you kind of have advice to know where you're supposed to be going and why you're doing what you're doing. It reminds me of this this allegory called the king moth allegory. And quickly, it's about, in the story, a person finds a king moth larvae, and the king moth is struggling, kind of trying to get out, and the person like takes a little knife and cuts it open and helps the king moth to come out, and become a moth. It's no longer a caterpillar or whatever. And the king moth will die.
Yeah.
In that sense, because the struggle is absent. Like, the part of the development of the wings of that moth is that it struggles against that cocoon to get out. In that sense, this time, if they've got the right advice and they're not just frivolously working, is key to their development.
Yeah.
And the world can seem so big, like college seems so big.
Yeah.
But if you just focus on the space you're in and how do you find your way in that space, they can go really far.
Yeah. It's funny that something that you said made me think, it's difficult as a mother to watch the struggle. I've been through the struggle. I understand it. I've hit bottoms, right? And had to fight my way back up. It's very difficult because there's the one part of me that knows sometimes you got to let people fail in order to fight their way back, right? That makes them stronger, that builds character.
Right.
But then as the mother, there's the other part of you that's like, I can't let my baby hit rock bottom. I got to help. But I also know that that help is to their detriment. It really is. So that's a struggle, I think. And the real struggle is because they're in the house. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because you see it every day.
I see it. Yes. Like when you're in college, I don't see what you're doing. You know, you may be struggling, failing. I don't know until you tell me, right?
Right.
But when you're in my house, I can see it. I see it every day. And so there becomes this, do I help? Do I not help? And I know the pros and cons of both. So it's just harder when you're closer to the situation.
Hey, the ice never settles on their beds. There's always milk in the house and water and bread.
This is true.
And I mean, relative struggle is happening, but it ain't struggle.
Right. But like, okay, so knowing that there isn't real struggle, you have to ask yourself, once you're actually in the world and you're no longer at mom and dad's house, like how strong are you?
It's a good time for both of them. And I hope they listen to the advice because their parents have been where they are. They want them to succeed. And I think it's just key in my mind for parents to share those principles with each other as parents and with each other's kids to say, look, it's okay to fail as long as you're working for and towards the right things.
Yeah.
You know, and rebound from it.
You're working on your ability to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.